Good afternoon to all of the viewers that we just had online. I'm just letting you know that we had a technical difficulty, but we're back online now and we're going to continue from here because we make sure that whatever happened, that we have it repaired and fixed to go again. So all of you that was on, just make sure that you come back on this program. Tell your friends, your family, that we're on, that Mr. David Forsyth is our guest. Your host is Jeffrey Richardson, and we're going to take this all the way to 2 o'clock, where we have our final say on this particular program. So I'll ask you again to come back on the program so you will hear the rest of what Mr. David Forsyth has to say. David Forsyth, take it from him.
Yes, so we were talking about how or why did I come back to St. Martin. As I was saying, I was in Pensacola, and the owners of that facility didn't know football, really didn't know football. They weren't very good businessmen either. And I thought, it don't make sense continuing this. Let me leave this alone. And my sister, in communicating with my family, my sisters, they said, why don't you come back to St. Martin? You can always come back there and teach. So, but I must say, before I go there, one thing. When I was at Millsaps College, I remember I had some good friends with Mr. Gittins, Mr. Marks, Mr. Nicky, Owen Nicky. We were good friends from before. And I invited, they had the Star Search Foundation, and I invited them to put together a team, and I would host them at Millsaps College. And they did. And they Mr. Nicky brought up a team, and I put them in homes, the players in different homes, including my own, and they played at the college facilities. I remember when the guys first came, and they got to the field, and they've never seen fields like that before. They were so lush, and they were rolling around like they were on a bed, and but they had the most wonderful time. So I knew those guys, and they were really hardworking people in the game, and so I communicated with them, said, well, why don't you come back and see what you can do back in St. Martin? So I did. I came back, and boy, when I came back, I found nothing but chaos in the soccer world, in terms of where they were going and what they were doing. Everybody's fighting each other, and but there were games going on, and but that wasn't going to feed me, right? So I applied for a teaching job with government, and got one, and became a second grade teacher at Orania School. So here I am now teaching at Orania School, and want to know what am I going to do with football now. My history back there was all football at a very high level, and so in 2004 I decided to form a foundation, the St. Martin Soccer Educational Foundation, and recruited those same people from the Star Search Foundation onto my board, and they did, and we kind of morphed the Star Search into that education foundation. Then I was recruited to work with the association. It took me a long time before I decided to do that, but I did. And at that time, the association had no funds at all. Whatever we did in terms of games and concession, that's the money we had to spend. So there was no money for anything. So we had to be really creative, and that's what we did. I tried to put structure in the games, the senior games. The foundation took over the youth game. We did the primary schools, the secondary schools, and we had small-sided games, because that's where you learn the game. Contact on the ball multiple times. You don't have to sit in the corner, wait for a ball to come to you. You're always busy. So we engaged the Cruyff Court in Belvedere. And then after a few years passed, we had a field and the Raul Lillage that was prepared or repaired. And we started doing some games there as well. Well, we did that, but at the same time, I am teaching at now I've been moved to Ruby La Vega, so I'm teaching at Ruby La Vega Primary School. And one day it dawned on me. I'm sitting in my class, fourth grade, and I'm looking at what is happening in the yard.
But David, what are you teaching at Sister Borgia? When you got the job at Sister Borgia?
No, I wasn't at Sister Borgia. I was St. Joseph.
Oh, St. Joseph?
Yes.
But what were you teaching? Only soccer?
Second grade. No, I was teaching second grade. Just second grade.
Also, all the subjects like
yes,
maths,
everything. I was a teacher. I was trained to teach.
Okay.
But that's in the early '80s. We're talking about '90s now, and 2000. So I'm back after my stint in the United States. I'm back on St. Martin, and I'm now teaching again second grade. Because, you know, after second grade is Dutch, and I do not speak Dutch. Yeah. So sure. I went up to second grade. Yeah. I'm at Ruby La Vega, however, was an all English instruction school. So I could teach the full gamut. But I was in the fourth grade, and I'm observing what is happening on the playground in terms of physical education. And I'm going like, something is wrong. Those teachers are not trained to teach physical education. The kids are not getting what they should. So I approached the superintendent and I said, Ms. Brooks, I would like to make a proposition to you. And she said, sure, tell me what you have in mind. And I explained to her, I said, look, let me teach my classroom for half day, and then I will do physical education the rest of the day. And we did that. She said, fine, that sounds good. And then after that, the next year, I said, now it's time for us to recruit another physical education teacher. And every year we did until we had an physical education teacher in every public primary school, including vocational school and the special ed. Every one of them had, from my initiative, and I became the coordinator. So I no longer was teaching in the classroom, I was coordinating physical education.
So you were looking over all the schools? All
of the schools. And here we started doing interscholastic sports with all the schools, you know, and it went very well. We did pre-test and post-test. We even had our own report card, right? With the different tests that we would do with the kids. We had an evening of parent evening where we demonstrated what was happening in physical education. You know, we had groups coming from Canada who would donate equipment, and I mean, the program was just booming. So we had myself and eight schools, eight physical education teachers. It started with myself doing physical education in one school, and progressed on to 8 plus myself.
I have a question. I did a little research, and according to the research, you were elected as board of the National Sports Institution. I want to hear some more about that. Because that is something you
NSI?
You didn't, the NSI.
National Sports Institute.
Yeah, because
okay,
that's the one that shows you.
That's at the end of my tenure before I retired. Okay. I retired from public education in 2016, and I had made a proposal to government or to the then foundation of the Raul Lillage as to how this thing should happen, what should happen. And then the whole NSI thing had to be formulated. So there was a consultant who was putting together all of that, and I applied for the position as director of NSI and was given the position. Was elected the position as a director. Now, what that meant was NSI was now in charge of all the sports activities and the facilities.
Oh yeah.
Taking care of the facilities. Now, the money that was a fund that came from the government. It was subsidized. NSI was a subsidy, right? It was subsidized to run the organization. And after 1 year, I decided I'm going back into retirement. I wasn't happy with the situation. I really wasn't. But, you know, maybe it was me. I don't know. But I wasn't happy, and I resigned after 1 year.
I want to ask a question. While you were there in NSI, you talked about the development of sports and also the facilities which you had to take care of.
Yeah.
And my question would be, what did you accomplish while you were there as a director?
Well, first of all, I had to refurbish my own office. There was no office really to work in. I had to do it myself. I mean, we're talking about tiling the floors, fixing the ceiling.
And was that after hurricane
No,
or before?
before the hurricane. The hurricane came
In
the
2018.
same time, the same year I
2017.
retired. Right after I retired. I retired in April. The hurricane was in September. So that wasn't there. The facility down in LB Scott, that needed fixing. The meeting room, I had that tiled. The bathrooms, I took care of those. And, you know, there were a lot of things to be done. But funding wasn't there. And I don't know that you know, it was just a difficult time. And, you know, I don't know. What I was in the process of doing, though, and I think still needs to be done, is organizing associations for the districts. All districts needed to have an association organizing sports for the kids in their district. One of the things I did was I refurbished 3 or 4 basketball courts and made them multi-purpose. I applied for some funding from a Dutch agency and got the funding and fixed up St. Peter's, the one in Simpson Bay, Leonard Connor School, and somewhere else. There are like 4 of them that we did. We marked out, we resurfaced, made new poles where it could accommodate basketball and netball. And so we played on those facilities soccer, basketball, netball, and volleyball. We had 4 sports that could be played on those different...
those same...
Yes. And I was in the process of training members from the community. I started a program in Simpson Bay where I was training some individuals.
So not specifically young people or children. As an older person, as an adult, you could have gotten trained as well.
Yes, it was.
That was the case.
It's with leaders in the community.
Okay.
Maybe parents, maybe an adult boy or girl. We had 5 or 6 in Simpson Bay that we were working with, and train them for the different sports, and also to train them to organize an association, because, you know, a diamond in the rough, they say, you're not going to find it, you know, just being there. It's going to be hidden, and it's going to just sneak up on you. It's going to come from one of these little burrows, and a kid that will just blossom, you know, because now he's given an opportunity, and which he never had before. That is what I was working towards, but that wasn't forthcoming fast enough. I used to have a lot of stagiaires. I used to entertain a number of stagiaires.
From where? From
Holland.
From the Netherlands.
Yes, from the Netherlands. I had if I hadn't have had 5 or 6, that same year I was there, I had several of them. I had to go and hunt to get chairs and desks to put them to sit down, and they helped with, in fact, I had a program. I had a video program that highlighted sports and facilities and was aired. I'm thinking it was aired once a week. And one of the stagiaires, she was the announcer. She videotaped the facilities and broadcast it on WTN. I had a time slot in there, and all that was done. But I don't know. It just, to me, maybe it wasn't for me to do. But I just walked away from it.
But my question to you, why would you think it was not for you to do? Because I've seen you coaching young people, and the way you coach, I mean, with so much passion, and you want to see the youngsters make it. And having said that, I want to ask you a question. Because you took the kids a number of places. I can remember we went to St. Kitts. I can remember we went to, I think it's Anguilla or some other place.
Sure.
Oh gosh, that place, St. Bart's.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We went to a number of places.
Sure.
So I want to ask you, where did you take those?
Well, I took on 2 separate occasions. I took.
And Aruba was one as well.
Yes, I took. I think 1 year I took 4 teams, mind you, to Orlando, and the next year I took 5 teams to Orlando. So 9 teams were taken to Orlando to participate in a huge tournament, huge. And we're playing at the Wide World of Sports facility. Something you see on television. And those kids, participated there. And today, if I see some of those kids, they'll still be talking about it. They'll still be talking because it was such an experience. And parents went along too. We had almost a whole plane for ourselves. There was 70-something of us that flew from St. Martin to Orlando. Yeah. I mean, amazing. And to see children too develop. I tell you something that a parent told me I never forgot. She said, "Coach, you know my son does not sleep on a Friday night because he is so excited about Saturday morning, because those are the days we play the games, and he couldn't wait to play, get on the field to play." And that's the atmosphere that we had developed for the kids. We had announcements. We had Coach Kevin. He used to do announcing at the games, and he had this flair about him that made the kids, they were like playing professional. So that what we tried to do is to get kids to love the game, not to win the game, but to love the game. And when you love it so much, you will have success, and that's the the objective
Key
there.
factor.
Yes,
Is
yes,
to love
indeed.
it.
Love what you do.
I tell people, love what you do and do what you love,
Yes, yes,
and then
indeed.
you'll be successful.
Yes, indeed. You can't
That's
just.
important.
But I've seen in places, not just here, but in abroad, where kids are pushed so hard to win at all costs that they lose sight of loving the game, and there's no fun anymore. No fun anymore. But I can tell you, I am proud to say that I have shared that with a lot of young people, and today you'll see them behind the television watching games as older boys and girls. You don't watch something you don't love.
No.
You watch because you love it. And that's what happens. So my journey has been pretty extensive, and it came through St. Martin and came back to St. Martin, and here's where I found my wonderful wife, and we're still together since 2002, and so yeah.
Another question.
Yes.
What's the reason for taking those kids to travel? What is the purpose? What is the goal that you want to achieve?
Well, they had
taken. I know it's very good to experience other situations, other facilities, other soccer players. But what was your main goal in taking them, whether it's Orlando or the different Caribbean islands? What you did that for?
Well, the experience, no? To see how they match up with kids their age in a bigger place, a place that had all the facilities, and a place, that there shouldn't be anything that will be negative. And you're coming from a small little island, a rinky-dink field that you played on, or a little postage stamp field that you played on, and see how well you match up with these other players. And then, of course, for them to make contact, friendships, and so on. And, that's all it's about.
And what was the result of them going? How did they play against those?
Oh, it was amazing. Amazing. We had, we never won a tournament, but we won games. We won several games. But we didn't get, because we're talking about 100 and something teams now. And to come down, all the way down, you have to be exceptional, really exceptional. And but we had some quality game. I'll tell you, I took teams to Barbados too. I took teams to Barbados for a college showcase. Okay, that's where there were college coaches there, and 2 of our players got scholarships to colleges. In fact, no, 3. Gene Campbell, and Jason Lindo. The 3 of them went to, I think, South Carolina, North Carolina, and because they were seen in Barbados playing. Right now, Gene Campbell is the general secretary for the association and doing a great job. He has educated himself, of course, afterwards by going to Japan and things like that. But they got exposed. There was another player that was seen, and the coaches were like salivating to get him to come and play. But he couldn't. He just couldn't. His academic, he couldn't get through. He couldn't be admitted and things like that. And he turned out not so good. He had fallen by the wayside, became whatever, I don't know. But he was a player, I'm telling you. It was just an amazing thing to watch him play. He did something in one of the games that I still think about. It's like, how did he do that?
Exactly. Name a couple of your best players that you ever trained.
Oh, Lord.
I'm talking about St. Martin.
Just St. Martin.
If I go to the world, there's people that might not know who they are.
No, of course not.
I want you to talk about St. Martin. Some of the best players that you trained.
I think Gene was a good player. Gene was a very good player. Very smart, heady player. And Jain, very skillful player. And he's no bigger than this. He's maybe 5'3", 5'4", and extremely talented player. Then, I don't know if you know, but I started the women's program too. And there I had some quality players as well. Candice, who hails from St. Vincent, was living here. She played on Swaliga FC, and an amazing player she was. Truly amazing. So if I start calling names, I may forget somebody that I don't want to forget.
I want to call a name. I haven't heard about him a very long time. His mother, I think, is she's a La Vega. Oh gosh, I forgot her first name. She was involved in tourism.
Okay.
Regina.
Yes.
Regina had a son that was excellent.
He was
a great player.
Great athlete. He didn't stay in the game long enough.
Oh, okay.
He had all the potential.
Yeah.
He's a great athlete. He was also a very good basketball player. So, but to be at that level, you have to dedicate yourself in one sport. It can't be, there are not many players that can do that. There have been some, but there are not many. They'll be good, but to excel, that's his name, Amir.
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 Amir is his name. Yeah.
Very good athlete.
I remember playing against him
Strong
with
athlete.
my son.
Yes, yes.
They were playing I think it was some kind of competition they were playing.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the competition, my son, when my son used to go to school, which is
Sister
Magda.
Magda. Yes.
They end up beating them 5-0.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I never forgot that game because I used to come together with my son to coach them as well.
Yes.
You know, but it was amazing.
I mean, we've had some amazing players and guys that just love the game. You know, Dr. Canal has two sons. Great players. Great players. Drivers.
Huh?
He has a son.
Drivers?
Yes. Patrick, his son.
Yeah, I know Patrick.
And his brother. What's his brother's name?
I can't remember. They used to work at GEB.
Patrick works at GEB.
Yeah.
The other driver, he works at the bank. His son was a real talent. Super athlete, super fast. But I've had players coming in from abroad who came here, and maybe they were illegal too, but they were playing in the programs, in the senior teams. Amazing players. But yeah, there's one thing that I want to talk about just a little bit, and that is how our national program is being run. I think things have gotten better. The association have done better. Well, they have money to work it and so on. I don't cry them down in any way at all. They're working hard, but our national team should originate from St. Martin, not abroad. This is what happens. They put together a team from abroad, and the players are citizens, you know, St. Martin citizens. That's not what I'm saying.
They're from St. Martin.
But they maybe not born here, but they have people from St. Martin, so they have the right. But how do you build if you don't build from home? You know, I say you have to put together a core from St. Martin, a core. So people see those players, and then you pull from abroad the talent, the best that you can find that has St. Martin roots. But right now it's those from abroad, and then you pull one or two from St. Martin. I think it's the other way around. That should be done. That's the way it should be done. You know, and then you put up pictures of those guys in different places, and maybe people don't even know who they are. You know, but if you had them starting, you get the first 10 from St. Martin. They train day in, day out here. How many times they train abroad? Who knows? They're all over the place. So how much training do they really get? You know, that's my take on that.
You said a while ago that you played with Vinomar.
With what?
Vinomar. You said when you came here, you played with Vinomar.
Vindam.
You play with.
It's all Cusilanians. I'm the only one who was.
But can you remember people like Brett and Elton Jones?
Of course, of course.
Elton playing ball
against them. Yes. Elton played with a different team.
How good was those guys?
I mean, you know, they were good enough to be playing at the senior level. You know, but Vindam dominated in those days. You know, Vindam was the team. You know, the real quality players came from Curacao. You know, and I was always being recruited to play for what team was that? The team for Texaco. But I like Vindam because I made a very, very close friend with L.
Oh yeah,
L. Blyden.
Yeah.
He became, and not just then. He was my friend from when I first came in '81. He was working with not Telem, but what was the company?
Telsa?
No, the company before Telem.
Before Lance Radio?
Lands Radio. He worked for Lands Radio, and we became friends then, and we remained friends up to the time he died. He died recently,
Yeah.
you know. But we were real tight, and he recruited me to play with Vindam, and I played with them throughout. But some great, great players. I'm telling you, that played with that team. Really good players.
I want to ask a very crucial question. I don't know if you follow baseball. Right now, when it comes to players going to the major leagues, Curacao players is being the ones that are chosen, and they are even passing, or they've already passed the Dominican Republic, who had a lot of players that played in the major leaguers.
Yeah.
What has happened to St. Martin that they really can't reach to that level?
Well,
what do you think that St. Martin needs to be able to get there?
Curacao has the infrastructure.
And the same thing like soccer, because I would say soccer is the same.
Yeah. Curacao has the infrastructure, and they really put a lot of time and energy and money on establishing the foundation for development. Development does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes support. It takes, die-hard people being in there through thick and thin. St. Martin, fleeting, but we have a young man right now I know of in Jacobs who I think will make it. Former Prime Minister's son, because he is made
Jacobs.
he's made out of steel. He has what it takes, and he has demonstrated that.
But you have Denzel Richardson as well.
Yes,
he's doing pretty
he's doing well. He's doing well. But it takes dedication, drive, and nothing is going to get in your way. This is what you want, and
focus.
Focus.
This is what I want, and that's it.
Yes.
I'm not looking at nothing else but that.
The thing is, in St. Martin, that infrastructure isn't there for those kids to have that, or to maintain it. They may have it, but it needs to be maintained, nurtured. And if it's not being nurtured, they will lose it. They will grow up and grow away from the sport. And where it helped him because he went off to high school, and there it was. And from high school went to college, and there it was again. And you've seen him through injuries come back, and he's still there. So I would bet on him that he will make it to the pros. I really would. And but you got to have that kind of tenacity, that kind of drive, and support. Must have that support. If you don't have it, you can't do it by yourself.
From whom? Parents?
From your community. Your parents, of course. From the organization who creates an atmosphere, like NSI, for instance, that creates an atmosphere that would push it. I tell you another success story. Abdul Watley.
Oh yeah.
I had something to do with Abdul. I supported Abdul, and I nurtured Abdul. Today, I'm proud of Abdul because he stayed the course. He had a lot of naysayers. He stayed the course, and now I think he had a goal in a event not too long ago in somewhere else.
He travels a lot.
Yes, he travels a lot. So that's a classic case right there. Classic Abdul. Look at some of the swimmers. Former Minister Gomes, Rita, her daughter, she has it too. And Rita, I know, will give her whatever she needs, nurturing and support. And
I have Raphael Skeet. I don't know if you know him.
I know him, know of him. I don't know him, but I know of him.
Of him.
Yes.
Anyway, he's saying that some of these kids are too old to be drafted.
But he would know.
True.
He would know. He would know. I think so too. I agree.
He was involved in baseball.
Yes, I think so. After a while, there's so many young ones coming up. As they get older, you just push them aside. I mean, one of my players I told you about, who's playing professionally right now, is 27 years old, and he's at his end.
old.
He's at his end. But
Well, that's old.
if you look at him, he looks like 18 because the game keeps him that way. Okay, so he probably could get another 5 years, and he's the number one draft in that on that team, number one. And so you have to really want it. But if you're coming in to the pro, they're not going to show interest old. They're looking for the youth, and he's absolutely correct.
One of the things that I did in raffle is the one that pushed me to take 16 players to Alabama. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember. It was called
Piper Davis.
Yes, I remember that.
Davis, yeah. And when I was there, I was together with one of the persons that choose these players. What you call them? They're not coaches,
They're recruiters. They're recruiters, yeah.
But anyway, I was talking to him, and he said to me, we don't necessarily look at the best players. He said, we look at the persons that are listening are most teachable.
Yes.
He said, because the teachable players
the
are the ones, potential there.
Yes.
Eventually going to get up there.
Yes.
But they have players that are very good, but they're not teachable.
Yes. Coaches, the worst thing a child or a player, worst way he could be is to act as though he knows everything. Exactly. That he's there already.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
You have to be like a sponge, soaking in everything these people have to share with you.
Yeah.
And then putting it on the field.
Yeah. That's correct.
So.
That is correct. Today we went over a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I have learned a lot from you because, I'm not a soccer player. And I'm not into soccer.
That's all right.
My sport is volleyball.
Okay.
My sport is basketball and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of interviews with great baseball players.
Okay.
Talking about the days when they used to play. And one of them was Frankie Vanderpool.
Okay.
And he said to me, one problem I have is the fact that we don't really push our own, but we wait until our own passed away, then we give them their flowers.
Yeah.
Because when they were young growing up, if we had pushed them from then, who knows? They could have become major league players.
Yep.
And that is one thing he said, because look at it, his brother was a great baseball player, Coach Vanderpool. But he passed on.
Yeah.
So sometimes we look at things and say, we shouldn't wait till people pass on to give them their flowers.
Yeah.
When they're young, let's put them in and make sure that they get their flowers while they're young.
Yeah.
So that eventually they will be able to become great baseball players. And the same for soccer as well.
Yes, well, it's the same with
a lot of soccer.
It's the same with any sport. Any sport. So many talented players come through, but if they're not taken and honed, they cannot do it on their own. It's the exception that one will do it on his or her own. You have to have an infrastructure, a group that nurtures that identifies that talent, because you have to have the eye to see the talent, and it's not the one who is hitting the home runs all the time.
No.
Because let me tell you something. I've seen players at 10, 12 can't kick a ball worth anything, but at 16 he's the best thing on the field. The light comes on at different times. And you cannot prejudge. You cannot judge a player from youth, very young, that, he's not going to be anything or he's no good. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes we fall into that trap.
Exactly.
I
think today was a very good day. I really enjoyed the information that you gave to the viewers. Because this time a lot more people came on, and I want to thank all the viewers for coming on and being a part of this interview. I hope that they share this so that others will know exactly what we discussed today, especially about soccer, because soccer was the main thing that we were driving home and stuff. like that. So what I want to do with you, Mr. Forsyth, is to give you an opportunity to give your closing remarks pertaining to what we discussed today.
Well, first of all, let me start from where we kind of ended. And, when we talked about NSI, right now, what I'm seeing happening with NSI is very, very positive. They're doing a lot of repairs, doing a lot of, getting the places ready for it, for the youngsters. And so I think they're on the right track. The new director, he's doing an amazing job.
Is it Michael?
Michael? No, he's a Dutch guy, I think. A young Dutch guy. Doing a really good job. Really good
Michael
job.
Cornell.
No, Michael came in afterwards and he didn't last too long. I don't know. He resigned as well. So I think they're doing a good job. I think the association is doing a good job. I just think they need to tweak some of their programs a bit. Gene has been a really, really key factor in what is happening with the association. I really do believe that, especially in the youth programs. I'm sure he has something to do with the senior program as well, but they're doing okay. Swimming, amazing. Athletics, truly amazing with Abdul. Baseball, I don't really follow baseball that much, but I know that there are some athletes out there that are really. I follow Keanu Reeves. Keanu, not Reeves. Keanu Bishad. Yes, he's doing well, and I think he's just on the brink of breaking through.
Silvera Jacobs.
Yes, so I'm proud of him. I think St. Martin, like anywhere else, there'll be talent, but we cannot just think that the talent will always be there for you to see. You have to go and search for it. You have to find it. You have to go into the nooks and crannies. You have to create programs where kids aren't doing anything but on their pads or on their games. We have to get kids out there more. The basketball courts, and not just kids just having pickup games. Pickup games is fine, but you need organized games. Like St. Peter's playing against Cold Bay, playing against Soccer Garden. That needs to happen.
Against Phillipsburg, against
that needs, and that's where I was going.
The region.
But that's what needs to happen. I see they did. I think NSI also did some refurbishing of some of the basketball courts. Excellent again. But now you need the program to put the kids on there in an organized manner.
But I remember back in old days when we started Little League baseball championships. Mm-hmm. It used to be districts.
Yes.
So we had Millridge and some guys played together.
Yes.
Cul-de-sac and...
What happened to that, Jeffrey?
Yeah, Cul-de-sac and Saunders played together. Cahill played together.
Yes.
We had Phillipsburg and Point Blank. So Cold Bay and Simpson Bay. But they were all district baseball. Yeah. And what used to happen is the parents used to come out and they used to support their children. Yeah. And that is something I'm not seeing today, David.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing parents come out and say, hey, that's my child, I'm coming out to push them. And that is one thing I'm seeing with the former Prime Minister. She's always there. Whenever there's any kind of games, you see her there on the field pushing her son.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's where we have to go. And there's where we're missing.
Yeah.
We're missing out with that.
Yeah. I agree. You got to have support from the community. You can have games, are fine. That's good. But a kid wants to look to the side and see that mom or dad or brother or sister watching. They feel good. It makes them feel good.
Yeah.
It's very important. But the infrastructure needs to be established. If we don't ever do that, we'll always be fledgling, and there'll always be just one here and one there. You gotta have all these, and then people like yourself, myself, go around and watch those games and identify, because we have the eye.
Yeah. And
see, okay, put them in a program. I think they do that in some programs. I read somewhere that's being done. They have an advanced training program or something like that. But I don't know it's done in all. Or there is no real structure for that to blossom. So, yeah.
One of the ladies here, Anita, says that you should hook up with Khalil Revan. I don't know if you know him.
I know Khalil. I know
You ever
Khalil.
spoke to him?
Khalil, yes. Not about development or anything, but
He's into basketball.
he's into basketball. I know. When I was NSI, I would meet with all of the associations and the leaders in those associations, and I remember him being in a meeting as well.
Part of it.
But to Flit,
Yeah, I know him.
he's one of my former phys ed
Was born
teachers.
in Rio.
Yes, he does an amazing job with his basketball. You know, Coach Kevin is coming back, if I may add, and he's going to be setting up his football trainings again. So, and I mean, the kids just loved him because he's nothing but vitality and energy and exudes the love of the game and shares that with the kids. So he's coming back. He'll be back in August, and I'm sure he's going to start his coaching again.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you very much, David.
It was a pleasure.
It was indeed. And we're going to close off here. Again, I want to say to all of you, thank you for, for being part of this interview, because you are part of it, all of you viewers. Today's Wednesday, on Saturday, we're having a lady by the name of Alicia Liverpool. She's going to be one of the persons that are going to be on Saturday at 1 o'clock. So we ask you to come. Go on your phone and be a part of whatever we're going to be discussing on Saturday coming. Again, thank you. God bless all of you. Don't forget to share it amongst your friends so that they would know whatever was discussed today as well. And especially in terms of soccer, which is the area that we were more, focusing on. So again, bye-bye. Thank you. God bless all of you.